That was just our ground beef in our muffin tin. Now I'm coming in with a shot glass and I'm creating a little bit of a divot into each of our ground beef balls. This is going to be a super easy, super delicious one pan dinner that everyone will love. It is a take on a classic. So we are going to get this going and get our divots in each of our ground beef balls. Now that we have our ground beef with divots, we're gonna come in with our frozen veggies and we are going to fill up our divot with our frozen veggies. You can use canned veggies if you prefer, but I think, oh no, that can't be good. But I think the frozen are just a little bit better tasting and we are just filling up our cups. This is gonna be so easy, so delicious. We have our protein, our veggies, and don't worry, we're gonna come in with something extra yummy. We just wanna make sure that these get nice and filled so that no one gets skimped out. I didn't realize these green beans were not cut, but you know what? We're just doing our best. You guys can make sure that yours are cut before you go on this journey with us. All right, that looks perfect. That looks perfect. We cleaned it up a little bit. Now we're gonna come in with some seasoning. I have some black pepper and we're gonna make sure that each of our little meat cups get a good amount of black pepper. We wanna make sure that this has a lot of flavor. We wanna make sure we season both the meat and the veggies. And I do wanna note that I use the 93% lean meat because we don't want too much grease with this. And then we are gonna add a little bit of our Himalayan pink salt. You can season this however you like. If you're watching your sodium, you can skip the salt, but I love a little salt with this dish. It just really elevates it and makes it the perfect savory dinner that everyone will love. And of course, we can't do this without some garlic powder. I love my garlic. And we're just gonna add a little bit, a sprinkle onto each one of these. This is great for individual dinners. Everyone gets their own little cup. You can eat, you know, up to 4 of these cups and get nice and filled up. So we have our garlic powder on there. And then the last seasoning we're gonna do, some onion powder, all of my favorites. You can also just use the Kinder's blend, which has salt, pepper, and garlic, but I am all out. So I had to, you know, do each one individually, but that is a-okay. All right, that looks great. Okay, now this is the star of the show. We have our mashed potatoes. And we're kind of trying to make a cottage pie here. So we're adding a scoop of mashed potatoes on each of our little meat cups. Oh my goodness, I told you we're gonna add something special. Now we have our carbs on there. I mean, who doesn't love mashed potatoes for dinner? It's almost like, kind of like a stuffed meatloaf, but this is a mini cottage pie and it's gonna be absolutely delicious. Some of you guys call this a shepherd's pie, but you corrected me last time because ground beef means cottage pie, but if you want to make it a shepherd's pie, you can use your ground lamb. But this is going to be delicious regardless of what meat you use, what veggies you use. As long as you have the concept down, this is going to be yummy. Okay, perfect. I'm just gonna quickly smash down those mashed potatoes so they're not just one big lump. Just a little spatula will get the job done so that it is flat and not overflowing, because we do have one more thing we're gonna add, and I'm sure you guys could probably guess it. I add it to all of my dishes. Some of you guys complain about that, but I am not complaining when I eat it because it is my favorite ingredient. And that is our sharp cheddar cheese. I love my cheese. I love my cheese grater. And we are going to use about half of this block, so about 4 ounces of cheddar right into our bowl for this yummy dinner. Now you can swap out the cheese for whatever you want, but I think cheddar just goes beautifully with a cottage pie. And I think that's the perfect amount. Like I mentioned, half a block. And now we're going to grab our cheese and put it on our little cups. You can add as much or as little as you like, as long as it's not, you know, touching the pan and getting all gross and burnt. We just want them right on top for this easy dinner. Oh, this is gonna be so delicious. Perfect little weeknight dinner when you don't have a lot of time to cook. You don't want to pre-cook your beef. You just want to do it all in one. You can even make this completely homemade if you have extra time and make homemade mashed potatoes, which would be absolutely incredible. But you guys know I don't have time for that. So we are just gonna quickly get that done. And look, we barely used any cheese. But this is ready for the oven. My oven is set to 350 and this is gonna be in there for 45 minutes. All right, these smell incredible. Okay, our little cottage pies are ready. Let's go ahead and loosen one up. Oh yeah, they're gonna come out perfect. I did temp them and they're definitely cooked to perfection. Let's get 2 out because I am a hungry girl. I definitely recommend serving these right out of the oven so that your beef doesn't stick to the walls of your muffin pan. But let's cut one of these open. Oh yeah, beautiful, perfectly cooked. Let's give this a try.
Good.